Today we're going to talk about project efficiency in digital construction. And the key to project efficiency is automations, particularly at project mobilization stage. One of the first things we often do is federate files or link them together. So how does DeepSpace help us? We have the DeepSpace Forge integration. So we can connect DeepSpace to your ACC or BIM 360 environment, install the DeepSpace Forge app, perform an API sync, and then we've now gathered together all of the Revit files that exist on that Forge environment, and we can then use that information to auto build a federated model or export that ACC metadata for some other use. So let's firstly look at how the DeepSpace Forge app looks when it's installed. We can see it here installed under integrations. The DeepSpace app is active and it's ready for sync. So how do we perform the sync? We can actually perform it on demand. On the project homepage here, we can click on integrations and we can see various integrations, and we can simply click the sync button here to perform a Forge API sync with DeepSpace. Once that sync's completed, we can now do things like viewing the data here in the home panel, or we could go to our Files app and view it in more detail there. Now before we do that, we're going to have a look at how we might use that data in Revit. If we went to Revit, and let's say we're wanting to build a federated file very quickly, we could use the DeepSpace linker automation. This connects to the data that we've collected from Forge, and simply pressing the play button here would actually start federating all of the models from the BIM 360 cloud directly. Now you do need Revit 2022 or newer to do that, but our automation is going to use those project and model GUIDs to automatically build the federated file, even if it's hundreds of models. Following that, we'd very quickly be able to do a DeepSpace sync or schedule the sync to DeepSpace. Let's jump over to that Files app now and see what benefits we get from it. The Files app tells us if we've recently synced our data to DeepSpace, which we have. But what about the federation status? This tells us that there's models on Forge that have not yet been added to our federated file. And instead of having to crawl through perhaps a very detailed set of folders and structures inside of ACC, we have immediately got the insight we need. We know which models exist on here, we know which ones we've federated, which ones we've synced to DeepSpace, and so we're getting a real lot of efficiency in digital construction here. And if we were to look at some of our detailed data views here, we can see things like the project GUIDs, the model GUIDs, even we can go even deeper than that, and we can see latest sync dates coming from Forge. And any of this data can simply be exported out into an Excel file for any kind of downstream use. So DeepSpace is unlocking that data, giving transparency and increasing our project efficiency in this mobilization stage, and that's before we even get into all of the good stuff around model auditing and quantification and all the other benefits that you get from DeepSpace.